May I proceed?
Yes, ma'am.
Get in, get out, get even. The makings of Whit Bowman's perfect plan. But how did this plan begin, you may ask? Well, we'll have to go back and consider the facts in today's case. You see, in the summer of 2012, Whit Bowman, the defendant in today's case, was a returning employee, a seasonal employee at the theme park of Roctorworld in Midlands. Unfortunately, the defendant was not satisfied with the raise that her boss, the owner of Roctorworld, Mr. J.C. Longstreet, offered her. It just wasn't enough. She thought she was worth more and that she deserved to be paid more. But instead of going and finding a job that would value her as she saw fit, she chose to subvert authority and ultimately subvert the law to get what she thought she deserved from her boss, Mr. J.C. Longstreet. Now, Ms. Bowman had a knife hidden up her sleeve because she didn't carry out this crime alone to get even Mr. Longstreet. You see, Whit Bowman had worked at Roctorworld in the summer of 2011 in the ticket booth at Roctorworld. She knew the system. She knew how admissions worked. She'd gotten in the authority. And in 2012, she returned to the park. And an old friend showed up as well, Cameron Poole. They had worked together, in fact, at another operation like this amusement park to steal from their boss very similarly. And when Cameron Poole showed up, Whit Bowman encouraged the boss to hire Cameron Poole and place him in the ticket booth, which would easily facilitate them becoming co-conspirators in a skimming scheme at Roctorworld. You see, Whit Bowman encouraged Cameron Poole to carry out a skimming scheme with the admissions process at Roctorworld. You see, when a customer would come to buy the premium World Tour admission pass costing $35, Cameron Poole wouldn't hand the individual that bracelet, left that one on the roll. He would hand a fake bracelet without numbers on it, a faded one, still charging the customer $35. But they would bring it into the machine as a regular admissions pass, pocketing the extra $15, and throw away the regular admissions pass bracelet to cover their act. Now this is exactly what happened in the summer of 2012, as you'll hear today in trial. But at the end of the summer, the administration became suspicious. The scheme couldn't go on forever, members of the jury, because the park management got suspicious. And so Cameron Poole and Whit Bowman became desperate. They had to get in to the park one more time to cover their tracks. So Whit Bowman planned to get in and out and even one last time by supplying Cameron Poole with a knife, members of the jury, to rob the ticket booth at knife point, stealing money from the park's accountant working there. Meanwhile, the defendant, Whit Bowman, would secure the Tunnel of Terror as an escape route so that her co-conspirator, Cameron Poole, could get out of the park with all the evidence. Now, members of the jury, Whit Bowman has been charged with 2 counts that we're here in court to discuss today. Theft by deception, first of all. For carrying out this skimming scheme at Roctorworld and stealing $15, one ticket at a time, in a co-conspiracy, working together with Cameron Poole, using a false impression over the course of 2012. Secondly, Whit Bowman has been charged with robbery in the 1st degree for supplying a dangerous instrument and encouraging Cameron Poole to threaten Haley Floyd on August 30th of last year, holding up the ticket booth at knife point. Meanwhile, as we heard, as you will hear today in trial, the defendant would secure the Tunnel of Terror to make sure all went according to plan, members of the jury. And as you'll hear today in trial, that's exactly what happened. You'll hear from the park owner, J.C. Longstreet, how $15 was stolen from Roctorworld one ticket at a time as the profits decreased. And second of all, you'll hear from Detective Kimball, who found text messages linking the co-conspirators on the day of the robbery. And finally, you'll hear from Rory Shelton, who saw the transfer of the knife and planning stages of this armed robbery. We hold the burden of proof as the prosecution in today's trial, and we're confident that by calling these witnesses, we will meet our burden to prove to you beyond a reasonable doubt that these events have occurred. Members of the jury, Whit Bowman got in, got out, and got even. Don't let her get away.